Good evening to all of my kings and queens of the universe. This is your girl, New Queen, and thank you for checking in with Black Smoke. So it's been about a week since I've posted. Uploaded a video, and I've actually been doing some research this past week, guys. It's this YouTube game is very strategic, and all I'm trying to do right now is just make sure I fit in, get in where I fit in, and all that good stuff. So I've been doing some research on how to actually up my views and basically get people to subscribe. So I know that a lot of people that I have been researching, some of the people that I have been researching on YouTube who've had their YouTube for about 5 or more years. And then I've actually researched people who've only had a YouTube for about 2 or 3 years. And what I actually just looked up what I actually found out was that you really do have to have your own thing going on. Me personally, I just love to talk. I don't have any friends where I can call in the middle of the night, be like, girl, guess what the fuck happened, or anything like that. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do YouTube. I'm actually an older person, so to speak, not in my 20s or anything like that, almost out of my 30s. So this is something I have been trying to do, or wanting to do, I would say, for the last few years. But, life happens and then you get caught up in other shit. And then you be like, why I just can't do me? And that's where I'm at right now. So right now I'm just doing me. And like I said in my previous videos, all I want is a channel where we can all come together, smoke, have fun, be friends, be very motivational to each other and things like that. And basically bounce off information with each other and get a chance to know things. So with that being said, my niche is basically talking to people about life circumstances and how to basically bounce back from it. Again, I've actually been through several things in my life. I'm not going to say I've been seen everything, but I have been through enough things in relationships with people where I feel like I can offer some great advice. And I was actually a product of a young teen mother. My mother was 15 when she had me, so we're literally 15 years apart. My dad tried to deny me, gave me a whole different last name that's not even mine. And coming to find out, my last name was actually different than what I actually claim right now. So, interesting. I'm actually the oldest of 4 girls, and I actually have 2 younger sisters by my mom on my mom's side, and then my dad has an older daughter as well. But I'm actually the oldest, so but he was in and out of my life, and we actually didn't have a relationship till his wife passed away about 3 years ago, and he basically married her and took care of her kids and everything, and I was just out here dangling around and all that stuff, But I did speak to my uncle on my dad's side of the family, and I was able to spend time with my cousins over there on that side of the family as well. So it's not like I wasn't a part of the family, but I wasn't a part of his immediate family, so to speak. With that being said, by me not having a father in my life, I felt like, okay, now that I know the circumstances of what went on in my life, and with my dad leaving when I was about 4 or 5, my grandmother raising me, me being the firstborn grandchild, which was the first kid out of my whole family. My mom had the first grandkid, and my grandmother actually had 4 kids, but my mother was the 3rd oldest, and the 3rd oldest, because there's 4 of them, and she was the first one to have a kid. It happened to be me. So I stayed with my grandmother a lot. My mother worked a lot. She finished school or whatnot, so she had to, basically multitask. And so I had to realize, of course, later on in my life, once I really sat back and thought about some things, I'm like, okay, maybe this is one of the reasons why I had trouble with men in my life, because my dad was in and out, and abandonment issues or whatnot. But at the same time, I didn't think about that till now. And being with both of my kids' fathers, I do have two kids, two different men, 8 years apart. My kids are 8 years apart. Make sure I put that in there. um, but just thinking about that right now, I'm like, okay, um, that was an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like I was with these men, even though they, at some point in the relationship, um, I was wronged. I was done wrong. And, even in with my daughter's father, I was with that man almost 10 years. And yeah, I did fuck up. I was young. I met him when I was maybe 16, um, almost 17 actually. And we were together almost 9 years. And each year we were together, I actually got pregnant, And with that being said, it was kind of hard for me being with someone who was very inaffectionate at this time. I knew I loved this man. I knew he loved me at some point. However, it wasn't reciprocated on the same level. And again, I'm young, I'm still learning, but I knew that, love wasn't cheating. It wasn't not coming home to the person that you with. And I experienced that with both of my kids' fathers. We both, in both of those relationships, we tried to stay together. It just didn't work, So, I just want people, women and men, to know that just because you do have a child with someone, that doesn't mean that you have to be together. But at the same time, you want to make sure you have a great co-parenting relationship to where the child doesn't have to be in the middle, because that's what happened with my daughter's father and I. He put our child in the middle. I can honestly say he did do that. He probably won't admit it, but at the same time, he'll probably put all that on me. We'll get into more of that. But going through the court system, he was trying to take my daughter away from me for about 8 years. I literally just burnt all of the paperwork. My daughter will be 20 this year. The only reason I burnt it was because I'm moving on. I'm past that in my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to go through none of that extra bullshit. And I don't have to go through that with my son's father, because my son's father chooses not to see him. That's a choice. Trust me. He chooses not to see him. The last conversation I had with his father, it was almost like he forgot what happened and why we were apart. My grandfather actually passed away in 2011, January 11 of 2011. It was 2 years after my son was born. And the day of his funeral, my son's father kept him while I was going to the funeral and everything. And when I came back, it was almost like he had a whole attitude about watching his own son. So I politely wrote him a nice letter, left that with him, took my son, and that was it. And about a month ago, we had a conversation, a little over a month ago, actually, we had a conversation. And it was only because I reached out to his brother, just so we can seal some things up, because I'm trying to just really move past a lot of the things in my life. And it's not even about closure for me. I really wanted to do this for my son. I want him to have a relationship with his father. However, if his father don't want a relationship with him, that's fine as well. Not really, but we can't force anything. But the conversation that we had was really, I can honestly say this. We actually talked one day, and then 3 days later we spoke, which was on a Saturday. The first conversation that we had, which was that Thursday, was, to me, really good. I've grown over the years. It's been almost a decade since I've even seen this man and talked to him. So for me to have a different communication style, I think is valid, because you grow. And he honestly actually told me that he felt like the conversation, or what I said to him, which was, I hope you take care. I hope everything works out for you. He felt like it was rehearsed. Why would I rehearse something if I didn't even know you were going to call? And When I would do that, that was years ago when we were together. Like, okay, I just want him to know this and that. But at this time, it was just flowing. I really just honestly felt that way. Even though he disrespected me the second time we spoke, which was that Saturday, he, basically told me, he felt like I cheated on him, and I never did. Never. I can honestly say I never did. I had reasons to. I could have, but I chose not to. And I had to stop him right there. Like, I never cheated on you. You the one who didn't come home several nights. And one of the main reasons why we broke up was because he didn't come home on New Year's Eve night. And that was of 2011. We were actually staying together. We got our apartment together. It was really beautiful. Hooked it up, had a projector screen on this big ass wall. It was just nice. And then things started happening with him as well. Just like with my daughter's father, they both cheated on me when I was 5 months pregnant with their child. And, neither one of them believed that it was their child. And after the test came back, 99.9. What can you say now? I had no reason to cheat on these. Well, I'm not going to say I didn't have a reason. I chose not to cheat on these men. With my daughter's father, of course, I was young. I fucked up. But once we were together for 9 years, off and on. The difference between my daughter's father and I is that he chose to step out and have 2 additional kids and pay for someone else's abortion, of course, because he didn't want to have to deal with that. And for my son's father, it was mainly just I'm not coming home, and then finding out that he had that my son was actually 8th out of his 13 children at the time, and this was back in maybe 2013 that I found this information out. When we met, he told me he only had 5 kids, and true enough, yeah, at this time in my life, I don't even want to deal with a man who has that many kids. 1, 2, 3, that's the most. 3 is the most for me, and at that, I don't even need no babies. It can't be a baby involved. It's too close. Too close. But yeah, I say all this to say this. This channel is really just me expressing myself, and if anybody else want to, hop on board and all that good shit, it'd be awesome. I've been sitting here all this time, and I didn't even get a chance to commence the ceremony. I just started talking. And again, I love talking. So, if you have any, well, I ain't gonna say you. I'm just gonna say me. I personally want to be able to free myself with a lot of things that I have within me. And I want to be able to express that to the world. And that's my niche. My niche is a single Black woman out here in these streets, a business owner, a sister. Literally, I have sisters, not just a Black sister, but I have sisters. A working woman, and a great friend. And you will see all of those aspects during this YouTube channel that I'm up and creating right now for you all. With that being said, I appreciate everything, and more content will be uploading soon within the next few days. I'm excited. I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to say, and I'm game. Let's do this. And it's gonna be a fucking vlog coming this weekend. Ew. It's kind of weird doing this when I know that it's like mirroring me, but not mirroring me. All right, peace, y'all. Thanks, everybody.